Hello everyone. In this short tutorial, I'll show you step by step how to use our brand new GV Megaplants Broadleaf Tree Presets asset. You can either use our finished presets directly and have your skeletal or static mesh tree ready with a single click, or customize everything to your needs. Let's get started. First, we need to make sure that the Procedural Vegetation Editor plugin is activated in our Unreal Engine 5.7 project. We also need to ensure that Nanite Foliage Experimental is enabled in our project settings. As you already know, our presets contain the Megaplants tree structure data, which is the core of this asset. Now let's say we want to generate beech tree types with the presets. For this, we've already downloaded the Megaplants European Beech asset from Quixel and added it to our project. We now navigate to the Procedural Vegetation Editor graph of the European Beech tree asset and open it. There's one small thing we need to change in the Foliage palette node before we insert our preset. We need to enable the Foliage Meshes option. Why do we do this? Simple. Currently, the Greenleaf Vision presets don't have specific foliage mesh instances set, so you can create not only beech trees but also aspen trees with the same preset. That's all. Now we simply need to replace the Procedural Vegetation preset data file with ours. We navigate to the GV Megaplants Broadleaf Trees folder and open the Procedural folder, which contains all the necessary files. We take the Beech Aspen data preset and replace the default one with it. And immediately we see all 30 Megaplant structures listed. We now connect the desired tree to our Mesh Builder node. We don't want the slope node for now, so we simply remove it. At the top left, we can immediately see all the important tree structure data of our currently selected tree displayed. Let's move on to the presets for the Foliage Distributor node. We've created 4 prefabricated presets of the Foliage Distributor, specifically for the trees in this asset. These differ in foliage density, as well as in the size scaling of the leaf instances. The ethylene threshold slider is particularly important here. Think of this value as a slider that determines how full your plant looks. A higher threshold means more leaves and branches are retained, making the plants look dense and bushy. A lower threshold means more leaves and branches are dropped, making the plants look sparse and pruned. If you set this value to 1.0, you're using the default value that was predefined for the tree structure of the Greenleaf Vision preset. Let's now import the 3 additional Foliage Distributor settings, so we have the widest possible selection of presets. We navigate back to GV Megaplants, Broadleaf Trees, then Procedural, and open the Foliage Distributor settings graph there. Now we copy all 3 additional preset Foliage Distributor settings. Important! One after another, not all 3 at once, because there's currently a software crash during the copy process if we select all 3 simultaneously. Then we connect the Foliage palette graph with all 3 and can now switch through all presets with just one click. Once we've decided on a preset, we can switch to the final export settings, where we also select whether we want to create a skeletal mesh or a static mesh. Under the Wind Settings tab, we now set the default tree wind settings from Greenleaf Vision, which we can of course adjust at any time as we wish. We also have the option of setting these general wind settings for only certain individual trees. To do this, open the respective skeletal mesh and go to the Skeletal Mesh section, Asset User Data. Then go to Skeletal Data and click on Simulation Groups. Index 0 is normally always the trunk, at least for the trees in this asset. That is why a check mark is set there. Index 1 is then the first branch generation, etc. Now change the influence values as desired. Now let's take a look at the other nodes you can use to manipulate the tree data. Let's first look at the Gravity node. As the name suggests, this node simulates gravity and makes your branches hang downward, perfect for weeping willows or wind-beaten trees. You can adjust the strength precisely and even control the direction. Now let's combine that with the Remove Branches node. You can remove branches based on their age, based on generation, by radius, or even by lighting conditions. This value can be used, for example, to remove the lowest, smallest branches growing out of the trunk, which is very practical. The entire tree can also be scaled to the desired size. Another powerful tool is the Bone Reduction graph. Here you can, just like with the original Epic trees, adjust the number of bones. From very large bones to many small detailed bones, you have full control over the performance of your trees. The fewer bones, the better the performance, but you still retain the flexibility of skeletal meshes. And the best part? Any tree can also be exported as an aspen tree, as well as black alder, hazel, and maple. Why 2 data assets? Simple. The first data asset contains the data for beech and aspen trees, while the second is specifically optimized for maple trees. Since everything is compatible with the Nanite foliage system in 5.7, you not only get fantastic-looking trees, but also impressive performance. Real geometry for every single leaf, optimized through Nanite, just like it was shown in the Witcher 4 demo. With GV Megaplants Broadleaf tree presets from Greenleaf Vision, you don't just get an asset pack. You get a complete professional toolset to create your own unique forests. Try it out, experiment with the nodes, create your own variations. The possibilities are practically endless. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.